So I've been playing the Rogue ST Pro irons probably longer than I've played any other iron. So I'm kind of committed to these things. But what gets me about them is the ball speed. They're really, really long. So one of the tests I've always wanted to do is to play a par 5 with just irons. So I got my whole setup of Rogue ST Pro irons here. I have a 530-yard par 5. So we're gonna hit some shots, take some rips, and we're gonna see how this experiment goes. Welcome to the world of Wunder. Let the games begin. Oh, this thing's awesome. It's actually a lot of fun to hit. I know a lot about your bag. How much do you know about your own?
Not as much as you.
I am here with John, Rom, JR. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
There's like a dime sweet spot mark here.
Are you not supposed to have that?
It's really hard to get. Okay, so 535-yard par 5. I have a Rogue ST Pro 4-iron. I think you guys would know this if you watch any of my videos. I have a True Temper Dynamic Gold X100 mid shaft in my iron. So if I'm trying to squeeze a lot out of this shot, like 4-iron for me is like 210, 215 in the air. So I got my Foresight GC quad here. And this is one take wonder. I'm gonna try and rip this thing out there and see what happens. So here we go. Come on, Wunder. I'm gonna have to lean on it. I just absolutely roasted it. Woo, okay. So that got us 212 in the air at 139 ball speed. It's not flying, I'm not Xander Schauffele, but so let's see what happens from here. Probably gonna have another 4-iron in, but the cool thing about the Rogue ST Pro irons is they gave me a higher ceiling and a higher floor. So whenever you can find a piece of equipment that's gonna give you that kind of performance, where if I wanna squeeze 5 or 10 yards out of a shot and my miss hits get better, like that's why these irons have continued to stay in the bag, and that's why the performance of these things is kind of like unmatched for my game. So looking forward to seeing how far this went out there. Probably gonna have another 4-iron in, like I said, but whatever, we're having fun. Let's keep walking. Okay, so I actually got that out here about 229. So I swung a little harder at that 4-iron. 4-iron for me, like if I hit it solids 215 in the air, that one carried, you know, I think 212 and rolled out here at about 229. So I have about 290 to the flag, and I'm gonna hit 4-iron again, see how far up this fairway I can get this shot. So it's uphill. I'm gonna have to roast it, but let's see if I can, do off the ground what I did off the tee. So I gotta kind of get down there and get this one here. Smoked it. 142 ball speed out of that one. I didn't just hit in the bunker today. 142 ball speed, 218 carry. 3,900 spin, people. That's awesome spin for a 4-iron at about 14.5 launch. So I'll take those numbers all day. So let's see how far up the fairway we got. It's gonna be interesting. These things are rockets. So let's walk. So the other thing to keep in mind when you're thinking about, like if you're a better player and you're thinking about going to a player's distance iron, one of the biggest concerns is maybe they'll go too high, they won't spin enough. There's all these things that you could sort of address. The Rogue ST Pros for me, and I'm a low spin player, I get plenty of spin out of these things. They do launch high, that's kind of their function, but they're still spinning. So for me, I play a Chrome Soft X golf ball. I like the fact that I can get them up in the air with some spin. If I have to hit them low, they're still a player's iron. There's not a lot of offset. It's a small footprint with these irons. I can still drive them low and hit some off-speed shots. So, you know, I keep kind of harping on this with these irons. I just can't believe that they put this much performance into like a player's iron. So now I want to show you a little bit about the versatility of these irons. Stock pitching wedge for me is like 130, 135, but one of the things I've loved about these irons is the workability and how I can control spin. So I have a pitching wedge because all I have is my Rogue ST Pro irons in my bag. So right at that tall tree, and I'm just gonna try and kind of finesse one up there. And this is one of the shots I had fear with these irons because they are pretty hot, but the thing is, if you take speed off, they still spin and they still do what they're supposed to do. right at it. So that was a half of a pitching wedge. Typically that should dip and spin for me like 1,000 or 1,500 RPMs. This is why I love Chrome Soft X, and this is why I love these irons. That thing's still spun at 93.29 RPMs a spin. So, you know, I'm gonna go up to the green and kick that in, but the reason I'm not gonna finish the holes, the whole point of this video is to show you guys the high floor and the high ceiling. You saw me squeeze a bunch out of the 4-iron. You saw the performance of the pitching wedge with the spin, the launch, and everything else. So if you're a better player, and trust me, you're out there, I see I've talked to a lot of you guys in my AMAs. You're always asking me about these irons. I will put these up performance-wise against any iron, not just the player's distance category, any player's iron. If you're looking for ball speed, performance, forgiveness, all the things that we all love, this one checks off as many boxes of any iron I've ever played. So if you have any more questions, go to the World of Wonder website, CallawayGolf.com, the Rogue ST Pro. I don't know what much more I can say on these things. They're stupendous. I love them. It's gonna be hard to get them out of the bag. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.